So, starting off, we're going to let you introduce yourself and how you got into the sport.
All right. Well, my name's Shawn Mccaul. How I got into the sport? Well, I would like everybody else. I started fishing when I was a little kid. Right. I
Mhm.
grew up in Felon Falls and Hickory Beach and Bob Cajun, and I was blessed enough to live right on the water where I could walk out my back door and fish. Many days did I miss that bus because I had fish on or was down the bank fishing, and my mom had to drive me to school. Um, I would skip school in the afternoons and go down to the dam, Bob Cajun, and carp fish. And I had a great childhood growing up there. I wouldn't change it for the world. Being up there with my brothers, it was amazing. But then I moved down to the city when I was around 14, and I got out of fishing from the time I was 14 till I was about 25. Just teenagers being teenagers, chasing tail, working, just doing my thing, right? And then
Mhm.
I got into a life that wasn't amazing. There was a lot of dark stuff surrounding me, and getting back into fishing really brought me out of that. Right?
Mhm.
It really put me back on track. And I've met some of the most amazing people in this industry, and like I would say 95% of my super tight friends right now are all through the fishing industry.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, absolutely. So I ran into a guy I went to high school with, and everybody should know this guy, Joey Ford. And he was
Mhm.
like, "Hey, man," he's like, "We're doing some stuff with Durham Anglers." He's like, "I'd really like you to maybe check out this charity tournament we're running." And it was the Durham Anglers Casting for a Cure tournament. And what the Durham Anglers Association does, they support Dave Mercer's charity with cancer and autism. And
Mhm.
for a little club, those guys got a big heart, man, because to date now they've raised, I'm pretty sure it's over $50,000 for a
Oh,
small
wow.
club. Yeah. It's insane. I was blessed enough to take part, and I'm pretty sure it was the second one,
Mhm.
and they auctioned off a seat in Dave Mercer's boat, and I wanted that seat. I was a big fan of Dave's, right?
Mhm.
I watched his show all the time, and I really wanted to go fishing for a day with Dave. So I reached into the pocket and I won the bid, and I went out fishing for the day with Dave, and we were out on the boat. We were fishing Ching, and he's like, "All right, let's
Okay.
go. We're gonna go fish for smallies." So we're out there and we're throwing jerk baits for smallies, and he looks at me and he's like, "So, what do you want in this industry?" I said, "What
Mhm.
do you mean?" He's like, "What do you want? Like, you want to be a pro fisherman? You want sponsors?" I said, "No, man." I said, "I don't want any of that. I don't. That's not
Mhm.
me." I said, "I just want to fish, man." And he looked at me and he's like, "Wow." He's like, "That's like the smartest answer I've ever heard from somebody. You don't want to come in and be a big pro and get all the sponsors." I'm not really all about that. You know what I mean? It's that's
Mhm.
not a big thing for me. I love the industry side of it. I am with Daiwa, and
Mhm.
that's a team that I'm super stoked to be on. The team is just amazing. The
Mhm.
guys at Greywood Sports, they treat us so well. But
I heard a lot of good
you know,
stuff about Daiwa.
oh yeah, and it's not a team that you can just get on, right?
Mhm.
It's a pretty cool feeling to be a part of that team,
Yeah.
but they make us work for it, and they make us stick to our deals, right? Like it's got to be
Mhm.
done.
Yep.
And so I uh I I hung out with the Durham Anglers, right? After that tournament with Dave, the Durham Anglers Mark. After that,
Actually, I
after that tournament, the Durham Anglers actually asked me to come to one of their meetings, the meeting right after they had that tournament. And
Mhm.
Joey asked me, and he's like, "Listen," he's like, "the guys want you to come to the guys want you to come to the meeting. So I went to the meeting, and it was at Gooch's house, Dan Risotto,
Mm-hmm.
super cool cat, and went in there, and they put forth in the meeting that they wanted me to join the club, and they've never brought an angler in partway through the year and had somebody join the club partway through the year. It was unprecedented to them. And he put that out to the guys, and I was like, "Oh, hold on a minute here, man! Like, first of all, nobody asked me if I wanted to do this. Second of all, I really shouldn't be in this room for this vote because I'm not a part of this club. I'm like, this is going to you guys. I'm like, I'm going to excuse myself here, let you guys do your thing, and then come get me when it's done." So I
Mm-hmm.
walked out the door. No sooner did the door close behind me, the door got pulled back open, and they said, "Yes, unanimous, you're in." So they welcomed me with open arms, which was a really cool feeling. You know what I mean? To be a part of something like that, to be a
Mm-hmm.
part of a club, and like really have a good connection with a whole bunch of guys. It's really something special. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
I learned so much from those guys. We had such good times. I'm still good friends with a whole bunch of them. Like, and through that club, it opened up a lot of doors, right?
Mm-hmm.
The industry here is fairly small.
Yeah.
It's not a great big industry here in Southern
No, it's not.
Ontario. Everybody knows everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and so I got some really cool opportunities through that club. Like, I got to be the treasurer of the club one year, where I got to take care of all the money and watch all the receipts, and at the end of the year, hand them in a report, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
was really cool. Mark Hunter helped me run the club that year,
Oh,
and
nice.
we got to help by being a part of the club. Now, all of a sudden, with the casting for a cure tournament, I got to help organize the charity tournament. And charity is something that's really close to my heart. Like, I don't think that I could go through life without doing stuff for people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never feel better in life than I do after a charity event. Right? I
Yeah.
just love to be able to give. I love to raise support. I love to raise awareness. It's just I think that's like one of the purposes I'm here in my life. I think that's what I'm meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what I feel. Um, so to be able to do that, and then start to help organize that tournament, opened up another door with Andy Pilata, because the Andy and Vita Pilata, they own the CSFL, and
Mm-hmm.
they always help with that tournament. So, like, they bring their stage. They Andy's right there, right beside you, helping you organize and helping you set things up, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
because Andy's got a way. He's got a vision. As soon as you walk into somewhere, he's got a gift where he can just look and say, okay, this got to be here, this got to be here, this got to be here, and this is why. It's not like, I think this will work. He's already, way ahead, and to be able to sit back and watch that guy work and learn from him,
Mm-hmm.
was a pretty big deal. So I got to move on and go through and hook up with Andy a whole bunch of times and help him out with his tournaments.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and there's something through those tournaments too. Like, there's a lot of work that goes into those things.
Yeah, I've noticed.
If you're an angler, right, you show up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you
Mhm.
launch your boat, you're there, you're ready to go, you pay your entry fee, you get drawn out, you blast off, you fish.
Yeah.
For those guys, it's, they're there at 5 o'clock in the morning getting things set up so they can start taking entry fees in. They
Mm-hmm.
got to deal with all the anglers, right? And
Yeah.
they got to
Get
get the live
everyone
release
registered.
boat in the water, get all that going, get the guys drawn out, get them blasted off, go back in, and then it's work mode. They've
Mm-hmm.
got to set up the event. They take all the people, they set up the stage, they set up the trailer, they put out the tents, they put out the chairs. They got to set up the live release boat, get all those tanks filled. They got to set up all the troughs, the scales, the measuring center, everything in there. It's a lot of work, right? It's a lot of stuff that people that don't do it could easily take for granted,
Mm-hmm.
right? So,
Yeah.
to get to go and help Andy with those tournaments, like, I've been up there. I've helped him with do the classic. Like last year, the classic last year was amazing. It was an awesome tournament. Championships Sunday was unbelievable. Like we moved the whole stage from Cobalconk, take it over to the baseball diamond on that day, set it all up, have a big crowd, big barbecue. You know, the people from RPM Marine came over and did a great big barbecue. It was fantastic.
Oh,
It was
nice.
yeah, it was super cool. So, you know, to also get to know Andy and do that stuff. Well, you know that Andy does the spring fishing and boat show,
Yeah.
right? So, and I jumped right in there. He's always like, "Hey, bro, you want to come and help me out? No problem." And I
Mhm.
love the industry. I love being around all the people in the industry. You know, so of course I'm right there, and I'm a worker, right? I ain't afraid to work. Like I'll dig right in. So, you know, over the last few years, I've been maybe four now. I've been really right in there helping Andy as much as I could with the spring fishing and boat show, right from setup through the show to tear down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. So, and there's a ton of work that goes into that place too. Like we walk in
Yeah.
there on the Wednesday before the show, and it's just a big, huge 100,000 square feet of concrete floor, right?
Mhm.
And over the next 2 days, you watch this show come to life and you see how much work goes into it by all the people in there, right?
Yeah. It's like
It's
the festival I volunteer at every year.
right. Which festival's that?
The Burlington Sound and Music Festival.
Oh, nice.
I'm on the logistics committee, so I'm one of the guys who's mostly studying everything up.
Right on. Right
Yeah.
on. See, I love building things. I love setting things up.
Mhm.
I build things in my profession. I'm a framer. I build houses. You
Oh,
know,
nice.
so I was, yeah. So I love walking away at the end of the day and seeing a visual accomplishment, right?
Mhm.
That's one of those things for me that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Um, but for that show, like since I started doing that show and I got to know more and more people in the industry and just making those, you know, relationships. You know, you're
Mhm.
there, you're seeing, you know, you're shaking hands all the time, you're having dinner with guys. And really it's not just about the show. It's about, you know, you go out for the dinner and the social aspect of it after the show.
Mhm.
You know, like that's where real relationships are made. That's where people are just being people, and that's where you can make a true friendship, right? You know,
Mhm.
you're out, you're enjoying everybody's company, and we're always having a good time. We've never had a bad time, you know, and you're down there for what, 3 or 4 days, out every night, late nights, unfortunately, early mornings. But you
Yeah.
know, it's a really good experience, and it's a really good time. It's one of the parts of the year that I really look forward to. Because I enjoy it so much. I don't mind the work, and I love the after party, the afterlife at night.
Mhm.
You know, because I really enjoy all the people, and
Yeah.
you know that's been probably one of the highlights for me in getting into fishing. You know, that's
Mm.
really helped me move through the industry and get to know people.